Apparently, every year my local town hosts this event called the Cardboard Boat Race, which is the coolest thing. Essentially, you just have to make a boat out of only cardboard and duct tape. I just so happened to stumble across this online, and I knew immediately I was doing it this year. And when looking at the rules, essentially the only two rules are just cardboard and just duct tape, no glue. So we immediately started concocting our master plan. Now, I was unsure at first what I wanted to go for, because you can make it look like anything you want, so I figured I might make it look like a tugboat. I didn't roughly know how to do this, but as you can see, my blueprints are in extreme detail. But essentially, the thought process was, maybe make two boats, have the first one be a tugboat, and maybe make the smaller one behind it an even smaller tugboat, so it's a tugboat pulling a smaller tugboat. Listen, I know it's not a great idea, but it's all I got. And this is our only chance to get a victory. Now, I don't know what trophies we can win and what are the qualifications, but I knew there was a trophy, and I knew immediately, as soon as I heard trophy, I wanted it. So, this is our plan, and we're gonna hit the ground running. Immediately, I went to the store, and I decided I have to pick up some supplies, so I grabbed a bunch of duct tape, and about 2 hours into this project, I realized it wasn't enough, and I had to go and get even more duct tape. But once we had our supplies, I knew I was going to take this project extremely seriously. Then I got some cardboard from some old doors I had laying around that got delivered, cut a rough shell, and then framed it using some stronger heavy-duty gray duct tape, and then just sealed the whole thing in actual gray duct tape. And then I was able to kind of cut it into a rough shape and start the second layer of red. We got them both red, we got them both decorated. All the decorations are inside for right now, but they took up so much space, I actually had to rent a U-Haul to get them to this event, because I didn't think about it, but when you make two boats that are this size, it's kind of hard to move them. Eventually, we did get to the event. We set them up. As you can see, we kind of made some little tires and stuff like that, and our confidence was short-lived after we saw our competition. Some of these boats were incredibly well made, and some of them were absolutely insane. I mean, it probably took these people weeks, if not months, to just build these amazing creations, and all of our hopes of winning any awards immediately went out the window once we were seeing these people's creations, because they were just absolutely fantastic. And then once the people started rolling in, we were underprepared. We didn't realize how large an event this was until we saw how many people were there. Immediately the races started. People essentially lined up on this outward dock and just paddled and trying to get to first. You can see people just sink right away or fall over, or their boat just goes down. But I mean, it was multiple races, and as you can see, it's just a fight to get as far as you can. Eventually our turn came. We lined up on the dock. We were incredibly surprised that our boats were still floating once we got in them, because to be honest with you, I've never done this before, and once the race started, we just did our best. We definitely did not come in first. We were the two last boats in. Our chain broke, so now we were two separate boats, and it was a nightmare waiting to happen. But we eventually did get out and come back. We made it back to the dock, completely dry. Afterwards, our boats were kind of finished, so they got crushed up into the next thing. Our chances of victory were no longer in existence, obviously, but we still had a great time. And at the end of the day, they still gave out some cool stuff, like this awesome Cardboard Boat Race t-shirt. So I encourage you to definitely check it out next year. We had an amazing time. We had fun building them, we had fun racing with them, and the event itself was probably the best thing I've ever done in a while. I got some crazy looks when I first told people I was doing this, but it was fantastic, and I encourage you to go out there and do events or do tasks that people might look at you funny for, because remember, your potential is limitless.